Good morning, friends. Steve here, and maybe we can start this session with a collective sigh. I've been busy kind of doing some spring cleanup, spring repair, the things that I just didn't want to go outside and do when it was so cold and damp and cloudy. So that's shifted. And we've had a couple days that were in the 50s, which was warm enough to actually bundle up and go outside, and made a video from the cabin because I've been doing a little bit of straightening up of the cabin up behind the house. Well, let's just start off and just set up a healing field, and then I'll do a Mayan calendar reading after the field is set up. So just if you state out loud, I connect to my deep self. I connect to my higher self. I connect to my highest self. I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. I open myself to the healing power of the One. And I let go of anything not useful to me now. If you'd like support in your healing work, you can state out loud, I choose to work with the Hathors. And I ask that we be placed in a field of protection while we do this work. And I ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be of the highest good, released and integrated at this time. And I invite all souls to return to the event, to release and integrate the energy of the event for themselves. And I ask that they be placed in a field of protection while they do their work. And upon our arrival at the event, I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event, gently and easily, fully and completely, on all levels and through all space and time. Okay, so the field is set up, and so you've connected to the field, you've got yourself grounded, and you're in a field of protection, so you can just do your work. You can stay and do your work while I do the Mayan calendar reading as well. Otherwise, just hit the pause button, come back later for the final bringing in of the new energies. Okay, so today is Monday, April 14th. It's the planetary moon of manifestation. It's planetary moon day 11. Each year, the year is created by the Witch of the 20 kin. And if you think of the 20 kin, going from the red dragon to the yellow sun, and there are 5 of the solar kin in each of the colors. So there's 20 total solar kin, and there are 13 lunar tones. So we go 1 through 13 for the year. That makes up a year. The 13 months are the 13 lunar tones. But the 13 lunar tones times the 20 lunar kin make up a combination of 260 kin. The 20 kin have 13 different lunar tones, so that makes them slightly different. So what day you're born, you go to 13moon.com, you tap into code of birth date, you put in your birth date in it. It'll tell you what your solar tone is. Like, I'm a red dragon. What your lunar tone is. So of the 13 tones, tone 13 is cosmic. I'm the red cosmic dragon. That's just based on the day I was born. And it influences what you do in your life to some degree. So every July 26th, a new year is initiated, and that'll go to the following July 24th, with the 25th being a day at a time. So this is blue rhythmic storm year, because that was the kin. I think it's kin 19. That was the kin on the first day of the year. So whatever is the kin on the first day of the year is the kin for the year. But the galactic cycle is 260 days, and the year is 365 days. So Saturday was the galactic return of the year, and what that means is there's 260 days within a galactic cycle, and so that started on July 26th as a blue rhythmic storm day, and so that went through the 260 days, which was the white overtone mirror day, and then the next 260-day cycle starts again in terms of the galactic year. So the second blue rhythmic storm within this year was Saturday. So they call that the galactic return of the year. And it was also a full moon. And then moving into yesterday, Sunday, we moved into a Yellow Resonant Sun. And the Yellow Resonant Sun, so the Yellow Resonant Sun is the initiation. So the Mayan calendar really honors the central sun, in which our sun rotates around with our Earth. Our Earth and sun rotate around the central sun every 26,000 years. The central sun was perceived to be the consciousness of the one, emanating out of the consciousness of the sun, and we're all an aspect of that consciousness. So that's basically the construct. And with the new so we're on kin 20, which is the yellow, or yesterday was kin 20, the Yellow Resonant Sun, and it was the first auspicious day of the 13 auspicious days of Pacal Votan, the Mayan sage, prophet, king, the head guy, from 603 to 683. And he was a mystic, and he had a sense of significant days, what he called auspicious days, and there are 13 of them. And there's 13 of them in the year, but the majority of them take place in the first few months. And I'm talking about the 260-day galactic year. So I don't want to talk too much about it, but we're in a 365-day year cycle with a day out of time on July 25th. But within that cycle are all these 260-day cycles that just keep repeating within the 365 days. So it's a spiral and it keeps changing. How's that? So the first auspicious day of the 260-day cycle is whatever day that the Yellow Resonant Sun lands, which is Kin 20. So it happened to have been yesterday, April 13th. So it was an auspicious day of Pacal Votan. This means a day that significant change can take place in your consciousness. Like the field is open, lots of energy available for you to shift your perception of reality. So there are 13 auspicious days. There's another one on the 19th, next Saturday. There's another one on the 23rd, which is a week from Wednesday. Another 9 days, whatever. But these auspicious days, they're just interesting to know. And then also at the same time, there was a galactic activation portal yesterday. So all these new energies coming in, which help to alter our DNA, expand the function of our DNA, and wake us up in consciousness, wake us up in function. So our function as a human being, so we're a being within a human body, our function is based on light. And the more light coming through the body, the more awareness that we have. So these galactic activation portals are days of increased light coming in through the crown chakra and assisting with that awakening process. The next one is tomorrow. So there's one on Sunday, and then there's one on Tuesday. In between that, we have today, which is a red galactic dragon. And so we're just going to go through, as for this Mayan calendar reading, we're just going to go through and we're going to take a look at the galactic tone, which is tone 8, and the red dragon, which is kin number 1. So tone 8 is about harmonizing, modeling, and integrity. So it's really coming into harmony to the best of our ability, bringing our harmonious state into the world. So the world begins to feel harmonious because we feel harmonious, regardless of what's going on in the world. This is not about, I can't put up with this. There's too much of this going on. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. All of that kind of stuff, which is affecting different people in different ways. I'm not talking about coming into a deep relationship with whatever. What I'm talking about is as you find either the harmony within your system, you vibrate that harmonious nature into the world, and you begin experiencing it more in the world as well. So it doesn't mean that the programmed news is going to be any better. Whatever it is, it's just being pumped out there. You know, kind of like, let's just say it again, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. Being pumped out there. You should be afraid of this. Now you should be afraid of this. Now you should be afraid of this. And so when you meet that with harmony, you can hear someone saying, you ought to be afraid, and you go, I'm here to bring the light. When I get all involved in this fear, I tend to contract, and it tends to decrease the light. When I don't get involved in this fear, I tend to expand, and I tend to let this inner harmony that I may feel, it's an option. Harmony is an optional feeling, like all feelings, except when you're triggered, then they don't seem optional. But when we're feeling in this harmonious place and we're pulsing this harmony, and we're modeling our own perception of galactic integrity, we become aligned with the central sun and the consciousness that comes out of that central sun, which is a consciousness of love. It's a consciousness of light. And as we perceive ourselves as an aspect of that light, then we may find ourselves being more and more harmonious. And that does not mean I accept everything here. It's like, no, this is possibly, some say this is all an illusion, and it might be. It could be very painful when it's an illusion of somebody's car striking your car or whatever. But it means I respect this world, and I bring my harmony, I bring my integrity into the world, so at least it has that coming from my consciousness. So there's a quote here related to the galactic tone, tone 8, the galactic tone of harmonizing, modeling integrity. There's a quote here by Hazrat Inayat Khan which says, what is the best way to take in everyday life to lead one to life's ideal? The best way is to consider harmony as the first principle to be observed. That in all circumstances and situations and conditions, all circumstances, situations, and conditions, all, one should harmonize with one's fellow creatures. Harmony is the most essential thing in life. This is according to a Sufi mystic. Harmony is, he says, is the most essential thing in life. In plain words, inharmony attracts inharmony, whereas harmony attracts harmony. Really good words. Okay, Red Dragon. We of the Red Dragon faith, we of the Red Dragon kin, according to the Mayan calendar, are number 1. You White Winds, you're number 2. You Blue Knights, you're number 3. You Yellow Seeds, you're number 4. There can only be one, that's 2 actually, or that's 11. There can only be one number 1. Of course, there's one number 1 in everything. When my daughter took second place in the horseback riding competition. I said, congratulations, great job. She said, oh, right, I'm the first loser. As a competitive person who, out of, let's just say 120, oftentimes there were that many people in these competitions, eventing, horseback riding, eventing. Maybe there was 120 people, whatever. And this, you got the second best score of 120 people, which makes you the first loser. So this whole thing of winning, I think that it will become very useful for us when we begin to, and just checking the sound, it'll be very useful for us when we begin to think of winning as being the whole. When the whole wins, we all win, and the whole wins through our harmony. Okay, red dragon. Now, I'm a red dragon, so I don't know if I can speak for all red dragons, but the red is, the color red is about the east. It's about initiating things. The red dragon is about nurturing, birth, and being. I would say of the red dragons, we're the midwives of the kin. We're the ones that help to bring in the new energies. We can all bring in the new energies, and the red dragons is the kin of bringing in new energies. It's number one because it's the first kin of the 20 kin, except that the yellow sun is the beginning and the ending. So yes, we get the first number, but the sun is the 0 and the 20. It's the beginning and the ending. So even though number 1, you may be number 1, but you're actually on some levels number 2 because number 1 is 0. Sometimes it's just useful to think about these things. You can get this elevation like I'm number 1, and you can go, oh, but number 0 is the first. So I'm kind of even number 1, but I'm the first loser. I love that young woman, my firstborn. I'm not going to state any names because who knows, one of them may watch one of these things and go, why did you talk about me? Okay. So Red Dragon, and today is a Red Dragon Day.